Let's fight. A very good evening to each and every one of you. Wherever you guys are joining us from this evening, we are privileged that you've made in the ring your sojourn for the next hour, folks. Really, really privileged to have each and every one of you with us. Very, very, very privileged. So much to talk about this evening, guys. You got to get your popcorn. You got to get your pops and your corn. You got to get your popcorn ready. I see Candy Naleen Inderjeet, and I see Dean Inglewood, Onessa Wardeen, Claudine LaRose. Lots of folks in the broadcast already. Michael Gittins, and Lily McGarrell, Onessa Wardeen, and Audrey Thom, Marilyn Lorimer. Good to see so many of you folks in the ring. You know, see how fastness bring y'all? I know see how fastness. When you know people, you can't go wrong. How are you guys keeps? How are you guys keeps? That's all the Trini said. You say, how are you guys keeping? No, this short did. How are you guys keeps? How you keeps? Good to see you folks. Good to see you folks. Dennis London Welchman and Lily McGarrell, Ariel Abrams and Malali Yamaha. Wow, what a name. Martha Harris and Everett Small. Freddie Jones, all you folks, Horace Thomas and Don Raymond, Gloria Chester, Bambi Love, Sarah Andrews, Alia Ali, where's Alia Waldron, Jimmy Cliff. These look like some fake profiles, you know. Rondell Hamilton, Trishana, is it Trishana? Robin Ryan, Robin, I haven't seen you in a little bit. You're working for the man. Rowena Cummins, Anne-Marie Selby, Diane Graves, Andy Lynette Goodman, Patricia Blair, and is it Irma, good to see you there. Audrey Tom, Stephen Beaton, and Silent. Is that how the surname is pronounced? I see an accent over one of the other names. Sukchan Sudhari, good to see you. Crystally, is it Crystally? Adolphus De Freitas, Abigail, Glennis, Deborah Fraser, Lynette Zephyr, good to see you, Lynette Zephyr. Good to see you, Lynn. Hope you're good. Laura Williams and Raul Brando Ramatar is back on Facebook. I wonder why, Raul. I wonder why. Good to see you there, Raul. I hope you behave yourself, you know, Raul. All right. Rondell Hamilton, Lizzie Simon, Stacy Stoll. Good to see all of you guys joining us from across the world this evening. We can say good night to our international audience. How many people can say that? We're so privileged to got a whole set of fast people in the house. Jomo Fanfare joining us on YouTube in the suburbs, and all the other folks joining us in the Pradoville of social media, the Bel Air of social media, Twitter, and the ghetto people, the ghetto set like R Love Sing and Chrysandra and Moore and Petal I Feel. She's a whole flower, Petal. Randy Singh and Vanessa De Silva. Well, folks, I don't know. Y'all had a press conference today. I know I can tell you about your press conference. Selena Fraser, good to see you from Ontario. Good to see you, Selena. And thank you, Selena. Thank you so much. I see that message there. I want too much people in my business. Selena, good to see you guys. Candy Blair and Shondell Abigail. D. Oliver, Mark Allman. Where's my other Allman fan who's usually in the ring with us? Royston Walters watching us from Flatbush. Shout out to Flatbush. We had a parade there along Flatbush Avenue. Fantastic. Recently, D. General. Jacqueline Pastano. This sounds very, very kosher. Chanel and Vanessa Benjamin. Oh my God, look, folks in the ring. Guys, as you come on, share the live stream. Some of you getting very Priya-esque, you know, complacent. Some of you guys are getting very, very complacent. But not Tessa, Isaac's Graves, and not Tessa. Right? Tessa going to share the live stream. And then you have also Renee Mackenzie Talbot. Renee is very, very pretty. I'm happy I met Renee there in York. Renee, good to see you. Pocketory. That is what it is. Ingram Campbell. You got it right. Pocketory. And we have Erwin Don Cook, Rowena Williams, all the usual suspects. I see Rakesh or Rakish. Is it Pandey or Prasad? Rakish Prasad. Nicole Brandis Higgins. Good to see you, Nicole. Where is the other Nicole? My friend. Nicole. You know yourself. Clayton Wickham, Marsha Glasgow. All right. Auntie Sandra, I see you there. Good to see you. Marsha says it's pocketory. Guys, as you come in the ring this evening, I want you guys to share the live stream. I'm going to be joined by a very special guest later on in the program. But for this first half, it's just me, you, and Priya. It's just happy. Me, you, and Priya. Me, you, and Priya. So, guys, I invite you to share the live stream. I invite you guys to share the live stream. And as is becoming my custom, we want to invite you guys. I'm not going to share them one by one this evening because I want to get right into the. We don't have a lot of hot topics. It's me and Priya, tell you all. We want to invite you guys, as you're here, to partner with us. And we know some people have been talking about we and K. When you're drunk and you're scared, who save you? No, you just ask for help. And so we in the ring, we're asking for your help. And guys, we have several ways in which you can help us. And we're asking that you partner with us on a monthly basis. You might be somebody who could only afford $5 US. You might be somebody who could only afford 10 or 15 or 20 or anything within that range. Could be $2 US. We have available the Cash App feature. We have available, that Cash App feature. It is the $, which is standard in the ring 592. Simple for you. The $, in the ring 592. And that's via Cash App. We're also available via PayPal. And that is in the ring 592 at gmail.com. In the ring 592 at gmail.com. And I think if you're using the PayPal feature, when you go into it, you click on, I think it's personal. You have a chance, an option of personal or business. Choose personal, whatever is leading towards personal in terms of sending. So it's in the ring 592 at PayPal, in the ring 592 at gmail.com. But that's our PayPal email address. And then for those of you who are here in Guyana and you want to help out, you can also use the MMG feature, and we're available on 627-6963 via the MMG feature. And for those persons who want to, perhaps you don't want to use the MMG feature and you want to touch base with us, you can call us via WhatsApp on that same number, 627-6963, on which we receive our MMG donations, and we can tell you how else you might be able to get those donations to us to help us to move along. And we know some people are like one Fraser, quote unquote Fraser, loves to use the MoneyGram or the Western Union feature. And guys, I'm telling you, as we are approaching our 1-year anniversary here in the ring, our 1-year anniversary comes up at the end of November, or 1 year. You're going to see us doing some amazing things on this program, and you're going to be happy that you are a part of all of that. We got some great plans in the stores to broaden what we're doing, to expand what we're doing. And so we're asking you guys to partner with us on a monthly basis moving forward. And we know you have your own commitments, and that's why we ask in such small denominations, $5 US, $10 US, $15 US, $20 US on a monthly basis. It will help us to offset so many of the expenses that we have. And I'm telling you, I know some people are saying, the opposition out there, money and all that. This has nothing to do with the opposition. This is about me, you, and in the ring. Me, you, and in the ring. And right now is me, you, and Priya. And so on this Flashback Friday, let me tell you guys, Flashback Friday was put together, was designed to look back at issues in the news that were, topics of the day, whether it was like the Monica Reese killing, things like that. We look back in time. But with this administration, we ain't getting the chance. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not getting the chance to go that far back. So we are flashing back this evening to the press conference of Priya Malik Chan. That's the flashback for this evening. And guys, as we do that, I want to just wait through one hot topic, and then it's just you and Priya after that. One hot topic. And folks, once we talk about this fraudulent install administration, is confusion powder. Confusion powder. That was Priya's press conference. It was confusion powder, ladies and gentlemen. And I am so happy that you guys have joined us here from around the world. Those of you who are joining us in the Diaspora, Region 11, wherever you guys are, whether it's right here in the Caribbean, it's Latin America, it's North America, it's Asia, it's Europe, it's, any one of the continents you're on. I know we're scattered all over the world. Some folks might be watching us from Afghanistan this very evening, but we are so grateful for your help, so grateful for your time, and so indulge us this evening. It's Friday, it's our last program for the week. Hopefully, we don't have to come on over the weekend because nothing interesting might be happening, but if so be, we'll be on with you guys. Confusion powder in the installed PPP administration. And this is a photograph that came across our radar just this afternoon. This is the Attorney General, and believe it or not, Priya Chan's father is captain for this boat in which the Attorney General is on. I don't know particularly where he's heading, but this is in the Maikoni Creek, right? This is in Maikoni Creek, and some things become very, very obvious to us right off the bat. If you folks know about the Attorney General, the position, the post of Attorney General, the Attorney General is the custodian, not CUSS. He's the custodian of the Constitution. He guards the laws of Guyana. Right? But only the AG wearing life jacket. I think people traversing in a boat supposed to be wearing life jackets by law. But of course, with the PPP, not everybody obeys the law. The law is for some people, not everybody. It's for some people. So not only is the captain of the boat, Mr. Manik Chan, not wearing a life jacket, the fella at the back, not wearing a life jacket either. But I don't think the custodian of the Constitution was too bothered. I didn't get that impression that the custodian of the Constitution was too bothered at all about that. I didn't get that impression. And in addition to not wearing any life jacket, right, in the Maikoni Creek, they're not wearing their face mask properly either. Now, this is the administration that is forcing you and I to wear a face mask, forcing you and I to vaccinate. But clearly, when you're around the AG installed, wearing your face mask is not too much of a mandate. Not so Arlette Tom, it's not too much of a mandate. Right? So if you're around the AG, you don't have to take stock of yourself and say, oh, this man is a serious fellow where the law is concerned. Let me pull my socks together. No. You choose whether you want to wear your life jacket. You choose whether you want to wear your mask, and we can go down the road like that. The other question that came up is whether this was a chartered ride. Because you might have some conflicts of interest. Was this a chartered ride, or did they just getting a free drop? They were just getting a free drop. You see, I don't know. But our Auditor General seems to be very, very, what would you call it? Pick and choose the kind of issues he looks into. So I would love to know, and I'm certain the AG is going to tell me in due time whether this was a free ride, whether it was a chartered ride, and perhaps how much it costs, and perhaps why the two gentlemen weren't wearing a life jacket, and perhaps why he didn't insist on them wearing a life jacket, and perhaps why they aren't wearing their mask properly, which is part of the COVID protocol, which is law in this country. But again, only some people. So we're moving off of the AG, and we're moving off of Priya Forde. We're coming to Priya herself. Oh, the preposition queen, the hypocrite, Priya Chan. She had a press conference today. I don't know. I would love to have been a fly on the wall of the ministry to see some of those professional people's reaction to some of the stuff Priya was saying. And the Waldron girl who sat next to her, Onish Waldron's sister, right? It's friends and family in PPP. Onish Waldron's sister, who is the head of NSERT, right? I would have loved to know what she was thinking as she sat there, looking at Priya, falling to sleep plenty, but nonetheless, she was looking at Priya there. I would love to know what she was thinking, what was going through her mind. Because she clearly didn't seem to believe everything Priya was selling. She clearly was not believing everything Priya was selling, ladies and gentlemen. And so, it is interesting. It is interesting. All of these things that we see happening. It was a presser that was a messer. So we call it the mess presser. It was a mess. Folks, it was a mess. It was epic. It was an epic mess. All right? I'm trying to get the young lady's name. I want to address her properly. Quinita Waldron Lewis. And Quinita Waldron, of course, is Onish Waldron. So you got Onish at Ministry of Tourism and whatever else. And you got your sister installed at NSERT. Because again, the PPP is friends and family. Now, guys, I want to introduce you to one of the things that shocked the nation. That shocked the nation with Priya and this mess of a press conference that shook us. Right? I hope you all sit back. You all got your trays in upright position, folks. This flight is about to get turbulent. It's about to get turbulent. Priya seemed to have it out for parents today in this presser. And in one instance, ladies and gentlemen, Priya called parents illiterate. That's what she said. Illiterate. Well, here's Priya in her own words. Don't let me misquote her. Priya in her own words, ladies and gentlemen.
And it restated for us our purpose here, that we must treat every child as though they have an illiterate parent.
Oh, don't treat them like this. Like they got sense. That is what the PPP is there for, to treat parents as though they're illiterate, as though they are illiterate. Right? You heard right. Listen again, folks. Listen again to Priya, the Malik Chan. Listen again. It was a mess. It was a mess.
And it restated for us our purpose here, that we must treat every child as though they have an illiterate parent.
Yep. So when they are designing their programs and so forth, their default mode is not that parents are fairly competent, are moderately educated, but that they are illiterate. What struck me is that this is not Priya's first rodeo at Education Ministry. As a matter of fact, if you take away the last 5 years of the Granger administration, then you are left with 23 years of the PPP. And when you add last year's 24. So if you have parents who are illiterate, it's who got them so. Is who got them so. If you got parents who are illiterate, ladies and gentlemen, is who got them so. It's not them. It's not the installed PPP. I want to listen to that yet again.
And it restated for us our purpose here, that we must treat every child as though they have an illiterate parent.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. The government that cares. The installation that cares. And Vic R. Prasad is asking, isn't she a parent as well? Well, you got to ask about her literacy level. And remember, just recently, Jack Dio talking about who? What did he say? Oh, all right. So I think Vic R. Prasad got it right. You got to think that they are illiterate parents. You got to treat them like illiterate parents. No wonder you got this mandatory vaccine and people being forced to take the vaccine because they are treating you as though you are illiterate. Treating you as though you are illiterate. Folks, we are moving on. She didn't done with parents yet. It wasn't enough that they must treat parents like they are illiterate. Oh, she went on from there.
And one of the risks is that a child whose parent did not get vaccinated and was careless at a party last night infects that child, and that child brings it into the classroom.
What Priya got against partying? Priya sees the nation's children, the parents partying. So y'all are only illiterate, y'all are reckless. All you. All your parents, y'all not only illiterate, Robin and Abigail, Michelle Butts and Bonita, Stefan and Claudette, Yonel, Dexter. Y'all not only illiterate, y'all are reckless now. It gets better. I wanna hear that once more. Y'all out partying in the night and passing COVID onto your children. That's why we got to joke them with the needle. That is why we got to give them the jabs.
And one of the risks is that a child whose parent did not get vaccinated and was careless at a party last night infects that child, and that child brings it into the classroom.
Just so. Priya is a gift to this country, people. She's a gift. You know, people come by this program and they say they love how it gives the information and how we're funny and all that. We don't seek to be comedians here, you know. We just look at the government and report the facts. We look at the government and we report the facts, folks. But as we say here, I die. Watching the press conference, listening to the madness, trying to see if there's any method, but there's no method. There is only madness. I listening. To see if I can hear a little sense. Next thing I hear my own name. Now, how I meet in this press conference, I don't know. Duncan in your own little corner, doing your own little thing with the couple viewers, with the 2 and 3 viewers, and then I hear my name get called. So you know what I said? I said, Duncan, your name calling. And I answer back. I said, it's true. Duncan, your name calling. Your name calling.
I felt a little foolish answering a page that people say is managed by one member of parliament, Mr. Sherrod Duncan. But it can be related to him. The page has a false name. So let's talk about that.
No, how am I meeting this press conference? How am I meeting this press conference? I don't work for the Ministry of Education. I mean, if they want to run little ads with us and so on, we're open to suggestions, right? We're open for business. How am I meeting this press conference? Folks, I did my own little corner. Worrying about this program for this evening and listening to these professional people, how Duncan meet into this national press conference on education. And then the woman is slandering me, making libelous statement. I gotta talk to my attorneys.
I felt a little foolish answering a page that people say is managed by one member of parliament, Mr. Sherrod Duncan. But it can be related to him. The page has a false name. So let's talk about that.
Interesting. Interesting. Folks, I don't know why in the ring bothers them so much, I don't know why in the ring bothers them so much. They got NCN, they got DPI, they got Chronicle. What else they got? Times, all of that. They can have all the road programs. They got Facebook, they got a PPP page, but their eyes watching me all the time. And I'm happy to report that as of this minute, more persons watching this program than watch that 2-hour press conference. But what is of interest? What is of interest, ladies and gentlemen, is that during the press conference, the learned minister told us what we thought was just rumor, that she did went to where they were marking the NGSA papers. And mind you, her daughter wrote the NGSA exams, and so persons were I saw some literature that suggests that she had some hand in some marking of paper for her daughter and all manner of things that were alleged, right? I never said any of that. I saw it like any Guyanese. But here was the minister saying that she was there where they're marking these papers. Her daughter wrote the NGSA, and where the papers were being marked, she turned up there. Why was she there? To encourage the people, the markers, to mark the papers properly, because every mark counts. Every mark counts. So she went to make sure all the papers were meticulously marked. That is her responsibility. Now, I wish every parent in this country got that opportunity to go to the markers of the children's papers and say, y'all better mark them papers properly. I'm making joke. Y'all better mark those papers properly. Here is Priya in her own words talking about that.
I went to speak to markers because that is my responsibility. Because for every child who is marked down, for every child who is not awarded the mark they actually earned, is a child we are treating unfairly, poorly, and taking away opportunities from them. Papers. I went to speak to markers because that is my responsibility. Because for every child who is marked down, for every child who is not awarded the mark they actually earned, is a child we are treating unfairly, poorly, and taking away opportunities from them. Papers. I went to speak to markers because that is my Right. Right. I'm not even sure how to feel how I feel about answering your last question. Because I'll say this. It's very easy to with the advent of social media.
Yep, I'm sorry about that. I seem to have had my audio off. I hope that you caught that. I was showing there, apologies, I was showing there that the minister, apologies, I got fancy mic, I just press a button and the audio comes off. Now I gotta remember it is off. Now, the installed minister, ladies and gentlemen, the installed minister, right, can't even wear her own mask in a 2 hours press conference for any length of time. Can't wear her own mask for any length of time. And again, I want to play that clip. But we're expecting little children to wear their masks for 8 hours.
Right. I'm not even sure how to feel about answering your last question. Because I'll say this. It's very easy to with the advent of social media.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You see, the law applies differently for different people. So you gonna wear a mask, you can take off your mask, but the little children, they must go to school and for 8 hours, they must wear their mask. Another thing I found quite interesting is this whole notion, according to the minister, in one sense, she is saying to us that they had the best program where it concerns COVID and school being out, all the facilities they created for students to learn at home. So the average person could ask, and a reporter did ask, with the advent of now the Delta variant, why are we hurrying to go back to school? I asked the question of myself, if the program was so nice. Well, the minister said if we don't go back to school, based on what the specialists and the consultants say, oh my God, you're doomed to poverty. We are doomed to poverty. But don't take my word for it. Here is the minister herself.
Not only did we do worksheets, let me just say Guyana made one of the better responses. Actually, let me don't be modest. We gave the best response to school closure. We refashioned the learning channel and created videos for every topic, every subject, and taught according to the curriculum on the channel. We created worksheets, printed them, distributed them in accordance with the curriculum. We taught online. We created quiz websites and booster programs for our exam classes and so on. So much so that other Caribbean countries asked us to borrow some of our material, and we happily gave that.
Which country?
And we're very proud of those efforts. We then have a choice to make. Do we keep schools closed forever, knowing fully well that this will doom a lot of lives to poverty, and not lives alone, a lot of generations? Because if we have a 10-year-old now who can't go to school, then her children and possibly her grandchildren are also doomed to a life of poverty. And so it's very important that we balance safety and practicality and access to vaccine.
Madam, you assaulting the police, ma'am. You assaulting. Are you checking the police?
There you have it, folks. On one hand, we had a good program. It was so good, other countries asked us to borrow the program. But on the next hand, if we don't get them back to school, it's poverty. Well, the comments, ladies and gentlemen, the comments were lit. The comments were lit on social media. Don't just watch the things, look at the comment. Read the comments. Ravina Ramcharan. This is what Ravina said. My very close, one of my very close family is going through this COVID virus. And I am not going to let that happen to my child. This is a deadly virus. So she ain't sending her child to school. Right? She ain't sending her child to school. This is what Divan Lal says. We are not making progress. We are not making progress on this thing. This is Divan Lal, what I call the small man. Divan Lal says we are not making progress in general in the adult population in not being fully vaccinated. No pressure on the parents to get their children vaccinated. This is Divan Lal on social media. Right. Crystal Jeffrey Elliott, a small man. Crystal said, seriously? SMFH. I'm shaking my head. SMFH. Seriously? Right. Asha Sukdio. Rather, is it Asha or Aisha? Sahadio. Aisha Sahadio says, like you want kill out people children. Aisha Sahadio. The comments were lit. Stacey Sears says the ministry needs to come up with a plan to educate and inform parents. Stacey Sears. Educate and inform parents about such plans ahead of trying to bully people at every turn. As for mine, they will continue to be homeschooled until I see fit. Can you imagine sending your 3-year-old to school at this time, especially if you're using public transportation? Then thinking so far. I see one of the comment, Ayana Yasin says that Priya should go into retirement. This small man talking. Shivani Dindial Ferreira said, what the hell? SMFH. What the hell? Shivani Dindial Pereira. Bibi Rafina Hamid says, would it be in succession or every other day to facilitate limited amount of children? Bibi Rafina Hamid, which means a lot of people still got some queries. She wants to know, would this schooling be in succession or are you struggling? Some go morning, some go afternoon. Based on to facilitate the limited amount of children. Again, Ravina Rajaram. She said, I don't agree about this. Ravina Rajaram said, I don't agree about this. I am not sending my child to get exposed with this virus. It's not safe. I ain't sending my child to get exposed with this virus, she says. It is not safe. They're too young. Yep. And the list goes on and on and on. Maria Hackett, this doesn't make sense. If the vaccine is only available for 12 to 17-year-olds, this doesn't make sense. Ravina Sukra, I don't agree with this. I rather online for the kids. Ravina Sukra. Right? Ravina Sukra. One person, somebody named Calypso M. Marshall says, lovely. I don't know if that is sarcastically or otherwise. Felicia Hanif Netu. The penultimate one I'll read. Seriously, Felicia says, nursery, these toddlers don't understand social distancing, to wash their hands often, nothing. The vaccine that teachers and parents taking, not preventing COVID virus, and if toddlers get it, what a catastrophe that will be. Felicia Hanif Natu. She seems to have the wisdom. Alicia Sugrim. Right, and folks, just to show you. All right, I hope you can see that. I'm reading it right off of the Facebook page. Right? I'm making this up right off of the Facebook page. Just to show you. Transparency. Right? Alicia Sugrim says, sorry, government of Guyana. My child life is too precious. I will continue to homeschool my child with the guidance of the teacher. Sorry, government of Guyana. My child's life too precious. I will continue to homeschool my child with the guidance of the teacher. And then finally, the last one I'm going to read. Melissa Bradford Suraj-Paul. Melissa Bradford Suraj-Paul. I do not agree with this. We are exposing our young children. I do not agree with this since we are exposing our young children. And again, that last one was Melissa Bradford Suraj-Paul. Melissa Bradford Suraj-Paul. Folks, it was confusion powder. And I still got a couple of videos I want to show you guys. Because in all that was being said there, oh my Lord, Waldron's sister struggled immensely to keep her eyes open. She struggled immensely to keep her eyes open. And that is what that's the one I want to bring up for you. She struggled. It was the struggle of her life, folks. Give me a second. Let me get it, make sure we have it queued up properly. She struggled. This is the head of NSERT. And we expect little children to go to school and to do it all nicely. Right? The woman struggled to keep her eye. I don't know if it was Priya that was boring her or what. But again, the lady had the time of her life trying to keep her eyes open. Bear with me, I'm almost there. It was a press conference like none other. The woman struggled so till to keep her eyes open. Take a look at this, folks. Do I have it right? Yep. Take a look at this.
I actually announced them. After every exam, there's a review period. And last year, of the reviews requested, 30% had changes in favor of the children. We don't change marks, even if when you're reviewing, you see that a child should not have gotten a mark, that's not changed. The benefit is given to the child. So of that 30% gave children, we talk about percentages here, but these are kids we're talking about, people's lives, more marks than they should have got, than the original process gave them.
Sleeping Beauty.
Some of those changes resulted in children moving from Diamond Secondary to national schools, I believe Queen's College. So much was the variance in the marks. One child got 11 more marks. That led us to a conclusion that whatever was happening at the marking center, and the other odd position was that the scripts were destroyed. So there was no way to go back to a script to see what the variance or why they were there. Government, I actually announced them. After every exam, there's a review period. And last year, of the reviews requested, 30% had changes in favor of the children. We don't change marks, even if when you're reviewing, you see that a child should not have gotten a mark, that's not changed. The benefit is given to the child. So of that 30% gave children, we talk about percentages here, but these are kids we're talking about, people's lives, more marks than they should have got, than the original process gave them. Some of those changes resulted in children moving from Diamond Secondary to national schools, I believe Queen's College. So much was the variance in the marks. One child got 11 more marks. That led us to a conclusion.
Folks, that is the head of NSERT there. That is the head of NSERT struggling to keep her eyes open. Struggling because a Priya press conference was so riveting. Quinita Waldron Lewis, the sister of Onage Waldron, So onage that tourism and konite that insert. And konite and cut out for this life. Konite not about this press conference life. You got to get, like a statue. But the woman wants sleep. What are you going to do? If you're accustomed sleeping on government time, you want to sleep. When is your hour? It is your hour. When is your hour? Is your hour. So there is Konita fighting. And that is why I said on social media, folks, if anybody deserves a prize in this press conference, it was Konita. It was simply Konita for bearing up there. Right? I was just here praying. I said, Lord, don't let Konita fall down. Don't let Konita fall down here this afternoon. I want to embarrass her bad. I want to see my sister so bad. I don't. Right? But in all that was being said, folks, this is the video I want you to see. Now, Priya, Preposition Priya, in this press conference, Priya spoke about everything under the sun, including Sherry Duncan. As I told you, I know how I'm there. Priya spoke about everything under the sun. Priya spoke as an expert on COVID. She spoke as an expert on the variants. As you heard, she spoke as an expert on the partying. Parents is going partying, come and bring COVID to the children. She spoke as an expert in education about, we got to treat these parents as though they are illiterate, right? And the one question that was asked that Priya can talk with an expert on is the law question. And for those of you who know Priya, you all know Priya is a trained attorney, well, quote unquote trained. Because lots of people just go to these schools that then register and all that, like Iflat University. I don't know why Priya didn't let the professionals speak. Priya hugged the mic this afternoon. So I don't know what was the real use of all the other persons at the table there. But folks asked Priya, what is the legal basis of mandating the vaccines? Locking people out of the ministry and all of that. What is the legal basis? Remember, Priya is not a trained teacher. She's not an educator by profession. She is a trained attorney. Right? And the one subject this exam coming on, Priya said, I ain't study fit. Preposition Priya. The hypocrite. She said, I ain't study. Listen to Priya. On that question of the legal basis for these vaccines, mandating these vaccines, and locking people out. Locking people out. Here, Priya.
I have not studied this with particular attention to enough to give you an informed answer here. And I don't speak on behalf of the government as it relates to legal issues. I think you should address that to the Attorney General. And I actually believe he might be in a better position to give you an informed answer. I haven't looked at it with that kind of particularity, and I shouldn't. I think it would be reckless for me to try to answer that in that regard. I have not studied this.
One more time.
With particular attention to enough to give you an informed answer here.
Really,
And
Priya?
I don't speak on behalf of the government as it relates to legal issues. I think you should address that to the Attorney General. And I actually believe he might be in a better position to give you an informed answer. I haven't looked at it with that kind of particularity, and I shouldn't. I think it would be reckless for me to try to answer that in that regard.
right? I don't know why we're locking them out in the ministries and so on. I don't know why we're doing it. Priya, study this question, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive our audio this evening. I'm trying not to have it feedback when we're playing the video. Forgive our audio. The one question I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, that when you're doing a press conference, you prepare before and you ask, or people ask, what is the questions that we are likely to feel today so that we can prepare? You tell me nobody there, Marcel Hudson, Dr. Marcel Hudson, or none of the other jagabats there thought that that question was going to come. So we're forcing parents to take this vaccine. We're mandating parents. And now we want the children to take it. If your children don't come vaccinated, they have to stay home. And you can't tell the nation's children as a minister of education and as a trained attorney what is the legal basis. Listen to Priya. She said, I ain't studied for it. I ain't studied for the one yet.
I have not studied this with particular attention to enough to give you an informed answer here. And I don't speak on behalf of the government as it relates to legal issues. I think you should address that to the Attorney General. And I actually believe he might be in a better position to give you an informed answer. I haven't looked at it with that kind of particularity, and I shouldn't. I think it would be reckless for me to try to answer that in that regard. I have not studied this.
Folks, somebody said Priya confusing me.
With
somebody said Priya confused me. Alia Waldron, you come, girl.
Attention to
right. I believe you. They will be strong. Somebody said Priya confusing me. I agree with you. The OB is strong. Do I have my guest ready this evening? I wonder how he's coming in. Folks, I have with me this evening one Mr. Wayne Forde. I'll leave him back a little, Priya. Is Mr. Forde there? Give me 1 second. Let me get it queued up properly. Yep. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Sherrod. How are you?
I am great. Folks, I want to welcome in the ring this evening, for the very first time, one Mr. Forde. I thought we might have been getting some video out of him, but nonetheless, we're going to make do with what we have. And Mr. Forde, ladies and gentlemen, as we depart from our discussion of Priya's press conference today on education and getting our kids back to school, Mr. Forde is an important part of the diaspora. And if you have not heard that name before, quite recently, when this administration invited the diaspora on board to work with the diaspora to help build our country, hopefully, Mr. Forde stepped forward with his group. He's going to tell us the name for that group, what the group does, and why is it that these many months later, the government seemed very, very, very reluctant to really engage the diaspora as they said they would have wanted to. So, Mr. Forde, again, welcome. Tell us the name of the organization that you represent in the diaspora.
Thanks. It's called the United Guyanese Diaspora Global Network. It's a nonprofit organization established in the state of Florida under the IRS nonprofit organization tax charter.
Great. And so, Mr. Forde, initially, you were part of this meeting that was had here. And coming out of that meeting, there was supposed to have been a diaspora conference, if my memory serves me correctly. At the very last minute, a lot of planning went into the conference with the government of Guyana through the representative, through the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I think Mr. Robert Passat played an integral role there. And at the very last minute, to the surprise of you and members of your team, that conference was canceled. Tell us about that.
Right. Essentially, we started in March. There were about 8 of us who formed a part of the planning committee, and we were meeting with the head of the diaspora unit, a young lady by the name of Miss Rasool, who was very receptive. Our team comprised three professors, Guyanese, three doctors, an engineer, CPA, and a couple of others who are all interested in volunteering to do the program that we were working on. And it was a set of webinars, 6 webinars over a period of time that would help inform the Guyanese diaspora around the world about investment opportunities and other ways to contribute to Guyana. So we had several meetings starting in May. We had follow-up. We knew when it was scheduled. It was scheduled for July 18th. Then all of a sudden, arbitrarily, they said it was going to be postponed to some unknown date in August. And since that time, there has been no response or no indication as to when this series of webinars would occur. And the sad thing is that we're volunteers, and we spend our time to get involved to help assist Guyana and assist the administration to achieve their goals of building a relationship with the diaspora. And then it was arbitrarily canceled without an explanation.
Wow. Wow. And Mr. Forde, since that time, I have learned that you would have written to the president again, Irfan Ali. He seemed to have instructed the Foreign Affairs Ministry to pursue the matter and move the matter forward. Nothing was done. Nobody's following, apparently, what he's asking or saying. You wrote to him again. They responded saying that Foreign Affairs has been instructed for a second time to move forward on the issue, and then nothing out of Robert Prasad. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So I gave the head of the diaspora unit a couple of weeks to give us information and explain why the postponement occurred. And knowing that she said she was advised, I figured, or we all figured, that the information or the advice came from someone higher in the organization. So I wrote a letter to the president on July 25th. Informing him of the summarily postponing the event and wasting our time without an explanation. There was no response. Subsequent to that, I dispatched another letter on August 1st to the president, indicating that we were waiting for a response, and revealed some more information that's very damaging to the diaspora, asking the president to have an inquiry into that and to respond. I spoke with his confidential secretary, a very nice person, about 3 times. And on all of those occasions, she indicated to me that President Ali instructed the foreign secretary to meet with me or talk with me or respond to these letters, and that it would happen. So I believe firmly that President Ali is committed to diaspora engagement. He said that, and I think there's been action to do that. However, there's been no response. 2 letters and no response. So it's a saddening thing because it erodes trust. When there's no trust between the government and the diaspora, then you stymie development and the contributions that we have to offer.
And I know that is one of the things you mentioned very clear in that initial letter that I read about this issue, that a lot of time and effort went into the initial planning for these webinars. You spoke about the professional people who came forward to be part of this process, wanting to be part of the development of their country, irrespective of who holds the seat of government. I found that very commendable. But then you have this blockage now where the president is saying one thing, but people are doing something totally different. So what are you hoping for next?
Well, we want to assist Guyana in whichever way we can, or continue to do that, to broaden the scope of involvement or engagement by the diaspora. And let me tell you one thing that occurred also. In putting this event together, I actually spoke with the dean, a high-level person at Yale University, who's Guyanese, running the management school at Yale University, Ivy League. And then all of a sudden this thing was canceled. Who was willing to be a part, possibly, and do a presentation? So that's the sort, and a congressperson in New York. So that's the sort of thing that happened after they canceled it. We're hoping that this could be resolved, because we're Guyanese at the core. We remain Guyanese. We're passionate. We want to help and contribute in ways that we can contribute and bring all the Guyanese together to do more. As you probably know, Sherrod, the diaspora contributes over 350 million a year in remittances. That's more than the oil revenues in the past 2 years. And it accounts for, depending on which year, 12 to 15% of the gross domestic product. So that's only one area that we continually contribute to
Yeah.
Guyana's
Yeah.
development. There are other areas that can be utilized that's not being
Yeah.
done properly.
And Mr. Ford, I think you also said in something I read more recently that there are about 800,000 Guyanese in the diaspora. So more Guyanese live overseas than live within the jurisdiction of our country.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's conservative. The estimates go up as high as 1.5 million, because
Wow.
when you start to consider the second generation, a family that comes here has 3 kids, and you've got all of them, and then they may have kids. And
Yeah.
those who come here or come abroad and at an early age, yeah, it can be that high. But my estimate is more people living outside of Guyana than in Guyana. So in essence, here's the problem. We are called Region 11, and we have more people in all of the regions in Guyana, all right?
Yeah.
And with high net worth individuals also. But at the government level, we have what we call a unit, not a department, a unit that has about 4 people to serve the diaspora. That's incredible. And
Mhm.
and in that regard, you'll ask yourself, well, if we've got 800,000, 500,000, let's say 10,000 people get interested in returning to Guyana or getting involved in doing things in Guyana, how could they serve? How could they manage this process in a unit at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? So that is part of the problem that exists. And we were hoping that we could help advise, counsel, and move the organization in a direction that will make it more robust and more effective. Because what I can see here as an expert in this area is that it is doomed not to achieve the objectives it's set forward to achieve.
Fantastic. Mr. Ford, just before we go, is there anything that you want to tell the Guyanese people at this time, or even those persons in the diaspora who will be listening this evening?
We want to keep, as Jesse Jackson said, we want to keep hoping that there will be action taken by the president's office to ensure that those of us who really want to contribute can do so through a robust mechanism that's in place. And I'll tell you what I mean by robust mechanism. Many countries have diaspora ministries or sub-ministries or departments. Jamaica, Haiti has a ministry for the diaspora. So does India, China, Mexico, Philippines. Guyana has a unit of about 3 or 4 people. Incredible. So there has to be organizational structure. There has to be a structure of culture where they understand how things ought to work, to be polite, professional courtesy, and that type of thing. And I hope that Guyanese in the diaspora will hold folks accountable to do the right thing so that we can get to do what we want to do in assisting the nation building efforts in Guyana.
I love that. Professional courtesy. Mr. Winford, I want to thank you for spending this time with us in the ring this evening. And do feel free to drop by anytime and give us an update about how this process is moving forward.
Thank you very much. Keep up the good work, sir.
Thank you as well. Thank you, Mr. Ford.
Sure.
Great. Folks, there you have it. Mr. Wayne Forde dropping by to let us know of some challenges that he has in the diaspora trying to get this thing off of the ground. And I believe you me, I didn't want to pull him too much into the politics of it, but I'm asking Robert Prasad and the others, please listen to Irfan. Irfan said to engage people in the diaspora who want to help move the country forward. Please listen to Irfan. I know y'all feel like y'all should be president and all that, but listen to Irfan, right? At least pretend y'all listening to Irfan, right? What's the other woman's name there who was Harper, Elizabeth Harper? Listen to Irfan now. Please, I'm begging for you. You got Guyanese who want to contribute. Not everybody that skin little dark is up new AFC. Thousands of Guyanese live in the diaspora, more than people who live in this country currently, who want to help. Y'all say y'all interested in the diaspora, but apparently not. For those of you who follow the newsletter columns in the papers, I saw this gentleman wrote twice in the papers. And as he said, Ali seemed to want to engage him genuinely, Catfish Ali, but it's the others. See, Robert, the man gave work. Help the people, man. What y'all are there for? Help the people out. Help the people out. You see the wasting time. The wasting time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our program for this evening. We want to invite you guys to continue to observe all of the COVID-19 protocols that are in place for your health and for your safety, that of your friends, family, and loved ones. And y'all pray for Priya. When y'all go to church Sunday, pray for Priya. Because she Monday to Saturday, but Sunday, pray for Priya. She need help. She needs help. You see, all them scholarship they give out, Priya need but 2. Priya need but 2 or 3 to bring she back on track. Priya need but 2 or 3 scholarships to bring her back on track. And as we go, ladies and gentlemen, I remind you, those of you who are going to come back later on and view the program, to share the live stream. Again, apologies for the audio. It's not that the audio is bad. I got to remember old age. I got to remember to turn up. Let me show you guys it. So we're trying to get some better sound now. So as I go through, I got to remember to touch that button to kill the audio, to bring it back on, so we don't have too much feedback when you're hearing the video. I tell you, we're improving piece by piece, step by step, folks. We're getting to where we need to go. The computer system audio is not enough for the kind of work we want to do. We want to give you good volume, and so we are improving piece by piece. And I told y'all, a good night I can show y'all behind the scenes. So we're asking you guys to partner with us as we continue to grow, as we continue to expand. We have the Cash App feature. It is the $ in the ring at 592 at Cash App. We have also PayPal is in the ring 592 at Gmail. In the ring 592 at Gmail. And then for those of you who are in Guyana, you have the MMG feature. It's 627-6963. It's our usual number, 627-6963. And if you want to find out outside of all that, how you might be able to donate to us, you can call us on that very same number, WhatsApp us on that very same number, and we'll be sure to tell you how you can do that. And for those of you old-fashioned, you're still in the analog age, you got Western Union and you got MoneyGram if you want to help us out. And we're simply asking that you guys partner with us on a monthly basis, $5, 10, 15, 20. And I'm telling you this, in the ring is not about the opposition. So don't see the opposition begging. Say Duncan begging. Say Sherrod Duncan begging. And I'd rather beg than thief. So we invite you guys to partner with us on a monthly basis. Thanks for joining us, folks, this evening for In the Ring. And thank you for joining us this week, for the hundreds of you, the thousands of you who came night after night. Take a rest this weekend. And we come all fired up for the new week to challenge this administration, to do good. But we really want them out. We really want to depose them so they can do us a favor this weekend and just resign. And let me move this country forward properly. Thanks for joining us, folks. Have a great weekend. It is Friday, right? Isn't it? It's Friday. Have a great weekend, folks, and do stay safe.